The RAND Corporation report on how to destroy Russia, written from 2019. Dunichi says Russia's overextension and imbalance force the adversary to expand recklessly and then destroy it. This is a plan against Russia drawn up by the RAND Corporation, the most influential think tank in the United States, with a staff of thousands of experts. RAND Corporation presents itself as the world's most trusted source of information and political analysis for the United States and allied leaders. It has an army of 1,800 researchers and other specialists recruited from 50 countries, speaking 75 languages, spread across offices and other locations in America, Europe, Australia, and the Persian Gulf. The RAND Corporation is officially funded by the Pentagon, the U.S. Army and Air Force, National Security Agency, CIA, and others, agencies in other countries, and powerful non-governmental organizations. RAND Corporation helped craft the strategy that allowed the United States to emerge victorious from the Cold War by forcing the Soviet Union to consume its resources in an all-out military confrontation. This model inspired the new plan drawn up in 2019, quote, overextend and unbalance Russia, end quote, hence forcing the opponent to overextend to balance and knock him down. These are the main lines of attack outlined in the RAND plan, on which the United States has been moving in recent years. 1. Russia must be attacked in its economy, which is heavily dependent on natural gas and oil exports. For this purpose, trade and economic sanctions must be used, and at the same time Europe must reduce imports of Russian natural gas, replacing the U.S. liquefied natural gas. Comment, they have done this, but in the end it worked as a boomerang, with the result that the economies of America, Europe, and beyond are at risk of collapse. Number 2, to encourage internal questioning and at the same time to undermine Russia's external image by excluding it from international forums and boycotting the international sporting events it organizes. Number 3, that's been done now. Number 3, in the military field, it's necessary for the European NATO countries to increase their forces against Russia. Number 4, equipment from Ukraine from America and Europe, but this should be carefully calculated to keep Russia under pressure without slipping into a major conflict which it would win. Number 5, U.S. to invest primarily in strategic bombers and long-range attack missiles aimed at Russia. Number 6, Europe's development of new intermediate-range nuclear missiles aimed at Russia would lead to a high probability of success, but would also present high risks, no kidding, like a nuclear holocaust. RAND analysts conclude that Russia would end up paying the heaviest price in a confrontation, but the U.S. would also have to invest huge resources, which would therefore no longer be available for other objectives. Number 7, reducing Russia's influence in Central Asia would be very difficult and could prove costly. Increasing engagement is unlikely to stretch Russia very economically, as it is to be disproportionately costly to the United States. Number 8, overturning Transnistria and expelling Russian troops from the region would be a blow to Russian prestige, but would save Moscow money and likely impose additional costs on the United States and its allies. The main thing is to provoke a conflict, light of the fire of war, squeeze Russia with the fiery ring of chaos. The strategic points of this plan have already begun to be implemented by the United States in 2021, Pavel Kiselev said. Finally, hell is almost empty, and all the devils are here on earth to help their kind in the destruction of humanity. Washington considers Poland to be the front line in any future confrontation between Russia and NATO and Europe, which is why it is turning it into its main European base, which is why, in addition to the American HIMARS missile systems, Warsaw, Poland, with an order of America, is building a fence on the border with Russia. Poland will place U.S. HIMARS missile systems near the border with Kaliningrad, It has already bought 20 systems for $414 million, but the U.S. Congress has already agreed to deliver about 500 more high mobility systems worth about $10 billion. Poland is fully involved in an anti-Russian hysteria, and the result would be tragic for Poland. 21st of October 2022, the Christian Orthodox elder warned that, quote, in the end, NATO will use Poland in something that will enrage the Russians, and Poland will get a strong bite from the Russians. Poland will do something that will enrage the Russians, and then they will accept the consequences. October 12, 2022, the elder said an evolution that will start from the border of Poland and Ukraine. Westerners will activate Poland against Russia on the border. And on February 28, 2023, he said a great evil will happen. They will not use nukes, but the Russians will use a terrible weapon, a weapon that the Russians have not yet shown, and the world does not know of it. Saint Agathangelos for the events of Crimea and Ukraine. Since 1279 AD, this is what he said. Okay, this was about, 800 years ago. Saint Agathangelos said, I heard a voice from under the Russian bear, Arcturus, the Russian bear, coming and saying thus, Russia, wake up from sleep. Oh friend, here are your Aristoplomic instruments, that means weapons of advanced technology, filling them with ether on the peninsula, that's the Crimean Peninsula. You won victory and crossed Lake Mateotida, destructions in Taurikin, that's against Crimea, and the surrounding parts of the Scythians. Ancient Scythia is modern Ukraine, by the way. Western Ukrainians are descendants of Scythians, Khazars, and Germans. St. Agathangelos mentions that the Russians' invasion of Austria, Germany, Poland, and France, and this is from what the elders and the St. Agathangelos from the 13th century also prophesied, and we'll see what becomes of that prophecy. We can only tell if it was an actual prophecy fulfilled after it takes place, of course. And this I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.